Hi, it's Eric, and we're going to talk about this watch right here. The Oris Divers 65 Chronos Limited Edition. Let me tell you, the watch is beautiful. It is such a beautiful, unique watch in many regards. It really is. From the blue fume dial to the highly tapered bracelet, to the 38 millimeter case, to the open case back with a 400 caliber movement. Wow, they really made a beautiful watch. They really did. It's very different than anything out there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. One of the big things for this watch, a few things. It's a 200-piece limited edition for Chronos magazine, which is watch time in the US. So the sister magazine in Europe is called Chrono magazine, Chronos. So this watch was specifically made for them. Only 200 pieces worldwide, and it has the 400 caliber in it. And also, that 400 caliber can't go in anything smaller than 38. I was reading something about it and explained that the actual movement won't fit in anything less than a 38 millimeter case. It just can't. So there's no moving holder, and it fits in the case that way. Now, the 400 caliber, wow, that thing really is an amazing movement. You're talking 120 hours, 5 days, 10-year service interval, 10-year guarantee. Oh my God, this watch has everything. Not everything, because I own the watch, and actually, after I got the watch, I found out about the time setting issue. So there's a time setting issue with some that came out in the beginning, and this one happened to have it. And if you go to set the time, you go to press the crown to hack it, and it jumps back or forward one minute or so. So they found a hack around it. You have to go past the time, go back, then set the time, and it doesn't jump. So they found a hack around it, is essentially what they did. I personally think that they should have recalled all of them and fixed them. I don't think it's something that we should have to live with for a $4,000 watch. Does it bother me? Do I want to return the watch because of it? No. But do I expect better than that? Of course I do. Of course I do. That 400 caliber is amazing. The 5 days, the beautiful dial, the blue fume dial looks purple sometimes as well. It's just really gorgeous watch, and it's very wearable, obviously, having a 38 millimeter and 46 and a half lug to lug. I'll go into the specs when we get closer to it, but it's a great watch. Now, today, I went to put it on and wear it, and I remember reading that instead of 35 or 40 winds for the crown, this is like 100 to 150 to wind it. So I wound it 100 times. I looked at the dial, and the second hand wasn't moving at all. And then I remembered reading that there's been a challenge sometimes, and all you have to do is tap the crystal. I tapped the crystal lightly, and it started moving. I don't like those kind of quirks. I really don't. I just think they needed to make it right. I know that this had to be the most important launch in the company's history. This is an in-house movement they spent 5 or 7 years making, or however long, and it just doesn't need to have any problems with time setting and winding to tap it. All watches, not all watches, some watches have quirks and people don't mind. No one talks about Rolex and the crown. When you pull the crown out in a Rolex, it doesn't fully pop out, pops out halfway. Then you have to turn it the other way and it pops out fully. That's not a big deal, but it is an intricacy. It is something unique to that watch. But this watch, not being able to set the time correctly and having to have a hack around that, and then when you wind it, getting a little scared that you don't see the second hand move, and then having to tap the glass, that's probably asking too much of me as a consumer when you're spending $4,000 plus on a watch. As I said, I would buy it anyway. I don't want to get rid of it because of those issues. I think it's a beautiful watch, and I think we should take a closer look, so let's take a look. So, let's get into this watch. This is the Oris Chronos Limited Edition, 200 pieces only worldwide, made for Chronos magazine, which, if you didn't know it, is watch time in the US. Its specs are 38 millimeters. Yes, that is getting down there. I think obviously everybody loves the 39 millimeter sweet spot that Tudor Black Bay hit. I think this size is also just fantastic. It's 38 millimeters. It's 12.6 millimeters thick. And that's even with the dome sapphire crystal and also a crystal display caseback, sapphire crystal display caseback. It is 46.5 lug to lug. So this fits anyone. Also, it's great unisex, but I find it to be absolutely beautiful. It really is a beautiful watch. A lot of things that are very different about this watch, not only the size, but you have a 19 millimeter lug width. I know some people are crazy about that, but the taper on this thing is amazing. It's down to 14, 15 at the clasp. That's an amazing taper. And it has, obviously here, and it's really easy to hit the mark with it. It's the biggest thing you have to get to is what's running this watch. So it is the 400 caliber. So it is Oris's 400 caliber, which is their newer in-house movement. They promise plus or minus 3 to 5 seconds a day. That I find easily attained with this watch. 120 hours power reserve, which is 5 days. They didn't lower the beat rate. It's still 28.8 and it's still a 4 hertz, 21 joules. And the big deal here is that there's also no spacer. This is the absolute smallest watch you can get this 400 caliber in. Since there's no spacer, it fits this watch, 38 millimeters. That's the smallest watch you're going to see with a 400 caliber unless they change it. It is an amazing watch. It's beautiful. The clasp is very simple. Deploy it. Milled. There are a few things to discuss that happen that people may or may not be aware of, but this watch specifically has the issue with the jumping minute. So when you go to set it, if you go to set the watch, maybe I should show you. You go to set the watch, let's say you want to set it right here at 115, and you push it. See it jump back? So they released it and had this issue. And there were a number of reasons why they said it was like that. Specifically because everything is so tight. They don't even have a date window. It had a lot of movement to fit in a small case. There's a number of things. But the bottom line is there's a hack around it. See it jump back again. Is that you go past and go back. So let's say I want to set it to 130. I go past 130. I go back to 130. Doesn't jump. So is that something I want in a $4,000 watch? No. Not for me. But does it really bother me? Actually, some people find quirks like that. If you look at Rolex's crown, it pops out halfway. Then you have to twist it in the other direction to pop out all the way. There's a lot of different things that happen with watches, and this just happens to be one of those idiosyncrasies for it. It's up to you if you want to buy it like that. Oris did not do a recall for this. They did change it. It doesn't happen any longer, but the watches that came out early with the 400 caliber, which is this one, and it is available for sale. It's a beautiful watch, and as I said, you go past it, you go back, and you can set it to whatever time you want. This is another little idiosyncrasy. It's I just went to wind this to show it to you, and I remember reading about it, and it happened. So it has twin barrels. And instead of winding it 30 times or so, you can wind it up to 100 times, revolutions to get it going. But after I wound it 100 times, it didn't move. The actual seconds hand did not move. So I remember reading, and you just give it a tap, and it starts moving. So there's another thing. It's got a number of idiosyncrasies for sure. It is not like anything else, but also it has some serious performance, not like anything else, in a package not like anything else. So it is a very cool watch that happens to be really beautiful and very versatile. So let's take a look at the lume. So here we are with the lume shot. And overall, I'd say it's just pretty poor. This is compared to Black Bay 58, all right? But the hands are definitely brighter than the indices. And overall, I would just say it's not even fair. I would say it's poor. I'd expect a lot more with lume, especially when there's so many lume junkies out there. It's one of those things you can do for a watch that makes it that much more desirable. So the lume is really disappointing to me. The loom is just a disappointment. I just don't know how you can go out in this day and age with a watch and just using Superluminova BGW9, whatever it is, BW9, and you just can't get enough loom on it. I just think that's, I'm sorry, but I just think that's laziness. I don't know. I don't know how you can release a watch nowadays without really fantastic loom, especially knowing that people are two things with watches, I believe. They're bezel junkies on how their bezel sounds, and loom junkies on how the loom performs. And the bezel itself, if I didn't show it to you, it's very clicky. It's a click spring. It's not a ball bearing. It's easy to turn, but not too easy. And it's very exact. It's very easy to put into place. It's overall, it's a beautiful watch. I just wish that the loom worked. If I had my choice, I wouldn't want to have to go past setting it, have that jumping problem, and it's a little strange that you got to tap it to get it going. Those are some strange things, but it definitely is different for sure. And it's up to you to make the decision if you want the watch or not, but it's going to be hard to find something that looks like this and has 120 hours of power reserve, that's for sure. So it is beautiful. So here it is on my 7-inch wrist. I think anybody can wear it. Honestly, I don't care if you have an 8-inch wrist down to 6. I think everybody can wear it. It's what you're used to, what you want. It's beautiful with a really beautiful taper. I just think it's exquisite looking. And let's take a look and see what it looks like with a suit. So here we are in the suit. Easily fits under a cuff. No problem at all. It's a great watch for work or dress even. Just beautiful, fits perfectly. Just really an all-around great watch for either shallow diving, swimming, sport, as well as dress even. This is a super versatile watch. So in closing, Oris, beautiful watch. Absolutely beautiful. From the fume dial, the blue fume dial that looks purple at times, as I told you, to that amazing movement. I mean, where are you going to get 120 hour, 5 days, 10-year service intervals, a decade warranty? You really can't go wrong. I wish that they would have got it right before they released it. I just think it's kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. I think that they should have gotten it right, and they didn't. And I think they should recall just to fix the 400s. And you know, the tapping the crystal too to get it, the seconds hand movement is just it's a little crazy for me. Those are things that I do not find you know, endearing at all. I just want a watch to work properly, especially when you're spending $4,400 out the door with tax. Come on. Anyway, I do like it. It's a beautiful watch, a great movement. I don't think you can go wrong, especially since they're all fixed now. So when you do get a 400, they're in good shape. So that's it. So thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thanks. Ba-ba-doo-da-da-da-da-da.